Okay, welcome everyone. We are live streaming on YouTube. Welcome, welcome everyone. I'm going to give everybody just a moment to log in and then we will get started. So, how's everybody doing? It's some wonky energy and I'm doing every week just to try to keep you in path of what's happening, what's showing up, but it's different for everyone, right? So, tonight we're going to just try to tap into the energy, what's happening, where we're going, and then we'll go from there. Oh, hello, beautiful. How are you? So, again, I'm just going to give you all just a minute here to log in, or I let everybody kind of stream in. I'm going to give you just 30 seconds. You know, I like to start on time. All of you who are on here. So hold tight for just one more minute, and then we will get started. Welcome, 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 everybody. It's good to see you. Lots happening. So there's nothing wrong with you. I know we are all kind of feeling this insane energy right now, but nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong with you. You're all so beautiful and perfect, and it's hard for us to wrap our brains around that because we've been taught a lie. We've been taught that we're not. And we absolutely are. Welcome, welcome, all my newbies. Welcome, welcome. Welcome everyone. All right, I'm going to get started, and then again, like I said, most people know I try to start right on the hour so that you're not missing anything, and I can get everything in the Q&A. All right, so let's get started, and we'll go from there. Um, let's see. Hello, everyone. Welcome from everywhere where you're coming in. I appreciate all of you showing up. All right. All right, everybody, welcome to tonight's Truth Tribe. Again, thank you guys for all being here, all my newbies. Welcome. If it's your first call, good to hear you, good to see you. Remember that the chat is always open. We've got Hawaii, welcome Phoenix. Let us know where you're calling in from or at least chatting from. I can see you, other people can't see you in the chat, just so you know. Um, Thank you for everybody who's been here for years. I just love seeing all of your faces or at least all of your names popping in. Remember, I'm Dawn Thompson. I am here to decode boulders in your life so that you can design the life that you truly deserve. That's why I'm here on this planet. And Truth Tribe, when I made it, is to illuminate your self-awareness of your health, of your wealth, of your love, and everything in between. You're all perfect. There's nothing wrong with you. I know everyone wants to say, this is what's wrong with you. That nothing's wrong with you. And remember that I love you, and you do not need an astrology chart for Truth Tribe, but I will tell you every time it helps for self-awareness during the planetary discussions or updates. So if you want to learn the basics on how to read your chart and you don't have it with you, or you want it right now, go either grab my I Deserve It membership at ideserveitnow.com. It can teach you all the basics so that you're right on task with me when I'm doing these calls, and my advanced calls are all in that program. If not, and you need it right now, go to the header tools of the header of my website, ideserveitnow.com, and get your free astro there, and you can see your chart. We're not going to do a lot of chart talking tonight, but I'm going to tap into it a little bit, so you'll want to look. So tonight, quitting is awakening. Tonight, guys, I'm going to tell you this is the ultimate life hack to the life you deserve. This is it. This is your life hack. Everybody wants to know the hack, how to have better health, how to have better, wealth. This is your ultimate life hack, quitting, right? Quitting is the sign that you're awakening because you don't need more answers and knowledge, right? You need to remember who you are. That's where you're at, okay? You're starting to quit. All of you that are on this call, if you're in my energy field, people are awakening and you're starting to quit accepting things that aren't you. It's that simple. You're not accepting things that are no longer in your vibrational space. Okay? Focus. You're now focusing on only yourself. And that's what I'm going to ask you to keep doing is focus on you and then stay silent. It's harder than it sounds, right? Like the pressure to believe what your soul knows is untrue for you is getting stronger every day. Your soul knows things aren't true for you. And there's a lot of pressure to get you to believe it is true. Everyone I'm watching, I do a lot of private work with people, with my clients, and we talk about pain pillars, and there's levels of emotional states that we all come in with, like, I'm drawn to that. That's my weak point. Well, there's kind of this sense that everyone has something, right? But everyone has this sense of fear. Really, at the end of the day, it's one word: fear, vibration, feeling of fear. But it gets disguised as like three things, okay? Number one, unworthiness, feeling that you're not valuable or worth it. I call bullshit, okay? Insecurities, we all have them. I pinpoint them in your hotspots in your chart, right? Feeling the insecurity is a topic that comes up because it's feeling unsafe, especially in those hotspot categories of your life. And then the third one is scarcity, feeling that there's not enough for you to be at peace. There's, if they have it and they have it and there's not, you feel scarcity, that there's not enough. I call bullshit on unworthiness. I call bullshit in insecurities and scarcity, because they all show up for us. But what does that mean? They show up in one or more categories of your life, one of or all three of those. But in truth, they all fall into one jail: fear. And fear is an illusion, my friends. If you choose what brings you peace, really, if you just make that choice every second of every day, if I choose this, that's peaceful. That's a peaceful thought. It's a peaceful choice. There's no fear, because it's you. You're choosing you. All right. And so here's what you're starting to realize, all of you on these calls. What you feel is simply a reflection of energy patterns in your life and other people's lives. And so the question is, will you see them or not? And the trap that a lot of people are getting stuck in is thinking that you're a victim of circumstance, of experiences, of events. You're not a victim of circumstances. That keeps you stuck in fear. I'm afraid if this happens, scarcity. I'm afraid that I'm unworthy. I'm afraid because I have an insecurity, right? It keeps you stuck in fear, an illusion where you believe you won't be accepted. It's an illusion. It's not real. You're all accepted here, and some of you I maybe have never met, but I know you're worthy of everything you've ever wanted in your life, and you deserve it, right? Or you might ask someone else in the world to hand you their illusion of who they are, filtered through their own fears around health, wealth, and love, and other things, right? We want so badly, my friends, for others to have the answers. It's that savior complex that keeps going on. And I don't care who the savior is. And when they've always, these answers have always, and will always be inside of you. Your birth chart is your user's manual. It's your own map, blueprint showing you the path to peace. This peace, the peace for you. And your peace is written in your DNA, in your vibrational field. Okay? Simplify this down without even looking, if you don't even know your birth chart, right? I'm going to show you, I'm going to pull this up on the screen so you can just look at it as I share. I just want to share this with you real quick. I'll pull it up just so you can see it. And so if you simplify, you don't know your birth chart, but this is all 12 categories, and you're standing in the center, okay? You're standing in the center of this wheel. You're a lighthouse. You're right in the middle of I deserve it light. And you're standing in the center of this basic wheel. Now, I want you to imagine standing in the center of this zodiac wheel. You also have energy and your own blueprint sitting on your own birth chart, but you're in the center of 12 rooms in your lighthouse. And I want you to ask yourself, of these rooms, am I at peace in my self-confidence? In that room, am I at peace? Truly, can I say, oh yeah, I'm at peace? I can say I truly do. I have confidence in any approach I walk into life because I'm not in fear. Am I at peace with my money? Am I at peace in my worthiness, my values? Am I at peace in my partners and relationship room? I'm in the center of this house, and am I at peace in any of these areas? And when you know yourself, nothing, I mean, nothing has external power over your value and your worth and what you deserve. I'm not giving you more knowledge to learn, my friends. The way I teach Lighthouse Astrology is I'm teaching you to know you. You don't need more knowledge. I just put the worth that you all deserve on paper so you can see it and express it with confidence, knowing that your choice always starts from within this lighthouse. Those three topics, being unworthy, insecure, scarcity, where do you see them in this wheel? In your house, right? Those three topics all reveal themselves in your own soul's blueprint. How? By checking yourself against the illusion of who you think you're being in all of these 12 categories. Do you think you're being who you are, or do you think you're an illusion of who you need to be? It's less about becoming something new and more about a big energetic check on what you're not. So when you're standing in the center of who you are, your blueprint of who you are, you absolutely can look in each of these categories and go, how I show up there, that I'm not that person. I have to make up a person to be. I'm a mask. Who are you choosing to be instead of choosing the illusion? Are you just being? Are you being you? Right? You aren't your success, my friends. You aren't your body. You aren't the illness. You aren't your partner. You aren't your kids. You aren't your money. And the conversations that you need to start thinking about is the conversations that you've been avoiding, the health habits that you've ignored, the money investments you keep putting off, the relationship pattern that you refuse to face, which is a big topic right now. It's not the circumstances appearing, it's you avoiding speaking your value from a peaceful place. And each one is proof that you've been choosing fear over peace. And that avoidance, right? It's the exact evidence of your awakening. You wouldn't see that you're avoiding, you're like, oh yeah, I'm kind of avoiding that room, that topic, that experience, that conversation, that health issue, whatever it is, that money problem. You wouldn't even see it if you weren't awake and ready. Guaranteed you wouldn't even see it because you wouldn't be awake enough and ready enough to want to see it. Why? Because if you weren't awake and you weren't ready to acknowledge it, why are people doing this? Why are they avoiding fear of being laughed? The old you, right? The old you that wasn't awake was afraid of being laughed at, judged, maybe exposed, right? It keeps you apologizing for who you are, hiding behind that armor that creates the illusion of peace, the illusion that you're playful, the illusion that you're showing up authentic, right? But don't tell us, because a lot of people, I'm hearing this lately, Dawn, you tell me to make a plan, Dawn. Isn't that just controlling flow and being at peace? Like, isn't that controlling your being peaceful? If you're trying to control your authenticity, yeah, my point is there's what you need to understand what's happening right now is discipline and planning are not the same as rigid control. Please understand that. Your attitude decides whether life meets you with stiffness or with playfulness. That's the creativity and the authenticity. You don't see a child show up that's not authentic. They just say what's on their mind and they're happy about it and they don't really worry about if you're judging them or not. Those who flow adapt their plans, guiding their direction, not controlling their value, no matter where they land, no matter the circumstances. They flow and adapt their plans, guiding them to the direction they want to go. Life is going to get heavy when you live stiff. It will always stay heavy when you live stiff and controlled. It becomes magical when you live light and flow and peaceful and authentic. And your authentic self is who you are. But we haven't been doing that. We've been in that rigid armor, a mask that we've been showing up, this illusion that we've been delivering to people. Laughter and validation of who you really are is the lightness. That's how you live in the now moment. And if you're not laughing and you're not feeling light, you know that it's something you're avoiding and needs just a little attention. Just awake, being awake to see it. Because you're not here to obey the illusion that you've been given of what's good for you when your soul knows it's not. You're here to bend it, my friends. Bend that illusion. Bend your reality to how you want it to be. I want you guys to think back. I think it was maybe Truth Tribe 92-ish. I'm going back. This was several months ago. I did a Truth Tribe on the matrix, right? And how to bend your reality. So I want you to go back and think about, if you haven't watched The Matrix, go watch it. But if you have, think of Neo in the movie The Matrix. He was trying to learn to bend the spoon, a metal spoon, right? And he was trying so hard. He's watching the little boy, and the little boy bends the spoon in half. And he's like, I want to do that. And he couldn't bend the spoon. And he could do it only once he realized that there is no spoon. That's what I'm trying to teach you about bending the illusion of your reality into the reality you want. The masks that you've been wearing don't work anymore. The games that you've all been playing don't interest you anymore. The hunger for approval, it's dying. You don't need anyone to approve of you anymore. Seeking, pleasing, like pleasing people and neediness. It all falls away when you're authentically awake, when you're just okay to choose you. You're not worried about your clients. You're not worried about your staff. You're just choosing you with a peaceful joy. This is going to be great. You're awakening to your inner truth. This is what's happening to all of you. And so you're quitting this need to be seen. You're quitting needing to prove yourself, and you're becoming more authentic to your soul. It's so freaking beautiful. I just want to scream this out to all of you because it feels so liberating. It feels liberating and lonely at first, right? Why? A lot of my clients have been saying, I'm so lonely. All these people have dropped out of my life. I just don't want to talk to these people anymore. I don't want to engage with these people anymore. But then you start to see in this solitude how much clearer and what is peaceful to you is to see. And you can't see it if there's so much chaos stimulated within your body and within your mind and within your reality. So it's all dropping up. You're quitting engaging in all those things because you're not needing to be seen anymore. You're just seeing peace. There's no need to explain yourself anymore. You're quitting this pretending to be happy or I'm fine bullshit, right? Your true soul freedom, my friends, is living the life you deserve from your soul. Authenticity carries its own light. And your lighthouse, as I just shared with you, that's what it looks like, and you're standing in the middle, exists for you to reclaim your highest frequency of being. And so what once felt safe now feels like change. Just like last week, we talked about the tether to those old things that you were avoiding that blew up, and you're like, okay, I'm awake enough. I can see it. They feel like chains now, right? What used to feel safe and you were used to that, the people, the experiences, the moments, they feel like chains now, and you've started releasing the need for outside acceptance, and you're finding deeper knowing inside. I'm telling you, I am so blasted open in this area right now. Everything just got peaceful because I started realizing I can start doing that. I can pick peace. And what happens is you stop blaming others or yourself. You finally see the patterns that you've been avoiding for what they really are, teachers. These patterns are simply your teachers. And awakening means you see others as mirrors for your wounded parts. You're like, okay, cool. I got that. You stop using spirituality, meditation, supplements as escapes. And I'm not saying any of these are bad, but a lot of people exercise, you name it, whatever it is, you no longer want to bypass what was meant to be your karma to complete. Your new awareness is peace, not penance, my friends. And we've been playing in this penance. I had to pay, I got to be, I got to show up. I've got to create an illusion that this is all okay. Here's a simple example. Okay, what I want you all to follow along with me real quick. I want you all, what's going to happen, we're going to take a deep breath in, you're going to exhale fully, and then you're going to hold the out breath. Okay, so everybody take a deep breath in. Now ready? Let it out all the way. As far as you can go, keep going, keep going, keep going. Now hold. Hold this out breath. What do you feel? What do you feel at this out breath? And then breathe. You feel nothing at that out breath, at that pause moment where there is nothing, where there's peace. That's the essence of being you, at that out breath where nothing exists and you're just in your body right here. So when you're questioning everything, take a deep breath in, let it out, and hold and say, I'm here, right? That's the essence of you being you. You are not separate. You are connected, and you see yourself everywhere. And in nothingness, you can just be. Every area of your life then starts to become this self-reflection. And it's so beautiful. Am I at peace here, or am I just living what I was taught? If I choose from my heart, what would it look like? Right? Whether it's a meal, just choosing a meal, whether it's a trip you want to take, whether it's a client you want to engage in, a conversation that you're avoiding having. The question is, am I conducting my life from peace or from an illusion of what brings others peace? Ask yourself that question. Am I conducting my life from peace? I want to have this food right now, but they might not want. Maybe that's not what they want. I'll just ask them what they want. It's that simple, stupid conversation. What do you want? Well, what do you want? Say what you want. It can be that simple to bring peace in that moment. Okay? You no longer need to prove or explain yourself. You're quitting all the false truths and living in your truth. You're unlearning all that isn't you, my friends, and you're becoming all that is you. That's what's happening to you, but it just doesn't make sense. But that's what's happening, and this is so amazing and beautiful. You're releasing what was never yours. Beliefs, actions, expectations, and you're embodying what is truly you. And yes, it feels unconscious, it feels lonely, even scary sometimes, but it frees you to finally deserve who you really are. So I want you to remember who you are is the ultimate life hack. Everybody keeps looking for, how do I hack money? How do I hack my health? How do I hack this and that? Yes, those are good things, but those aren't they're not going to work if you don't know who you are and they really don't match you anyway. You don't need to do anything. You just need to be. And life will meet you there, matching your frequency. That's when you're being you, synchronicities start to happen. Things start to attract you out of the blue. Because this lighter version of you is flow, it's presence, and it's play. If you're not light and playing and picking something, it's not you. And you can take life less seriously when you stop managing the illusion of you and instead play in the truth of you. Remember, there is no you, there is no spoon, there is no career. When you live your life in your lightest energy, you play from your soul celebration of you. Life feels easier. It appears like magic. The struggle dissolves. It's so vitally important you understand this. Stop fighting, stop fixing, and start laughing. The light was always there waiting for you to live in it because you're the lighthouse. So I want to give you kind of what I'm giving and help you pen this in paper a little bit. 5 reflection questions I want you to start asking yourself within the next week, because I'm going to tap into planetary updates. Why this is coming up in just a moment. So if you got a pen, grab a pen. I'll also post these questions on the community walls in Facebook and the IDI club community wall, so you can copy them again, okay, if you don't have a pen. The first question I want to ask about, how am I escaping? So the reflection question I want you to ask yourself is, what am I using to bypass instead of facing my soul? So what am I using to bypass, like spirituality, busyness, distractions, medications, alcohol, instead of facing my soul, seeing me? Okay, that's your first question. How am I escaping? Question number 2, what awakening looks like. Okay, reflection. Here's your question. What conversation, habit, or decision have I been avoiding that's actually proof that I'm awakening to what I want to quit? Like, you're like, I don't have that conversation. Oh, that's a bad habit. Oh, instead of just seeing it, right? What decision do you have to make and you're avoiding making that decision? Changing the way you eat, making a contract that you know you should make and you should engage with someone and you're nervous about it because your insecurities and your unworthiness are coming up, right? What conversation, habit, or decision have I been avoiding that's actually proof I'm awakening to what I want to quit? Because you wouldn't see it if you didn't know it was something to address. What conversation, habit, or decision have I been avoiding that's actually proof I'm awakening to what I want to quit? Number 3, the shift. The question is, what used to feel safe but now feels like chains? Write that down. This is where your shift happens. What used to feel safe to me but now feels like chains? It's a big question. I've been asking myself that a lot in the last 2 weeks. Number 4 is the awakening. Okay, here's your question. What belief or identity am I ready to see and unlearn that isn't authentically me? What belief or identity am I ready to see in myself and unlearn it? I want to unlearn because it isn't authentically me. And number 5, how are you playing in this lightness? Question. When was the last time I let myself play or laugh in my own lightness? And I don't mean going out and just being funny but are you just picking you and not stressing about how you show up? So your action step of the week, okay? I want you to pick one room in your lighthouse. If you know your chart, go look at that house specifically, okay? If you don't know your chart, upload the winning wheel, the astrology wheel, just the basics, and ask yourself, what room in my lighthouse, confidence, money, love, health, worth, whatever. And I want you to ask yourself, what would peace look like here? Then take one small action aligned with that peaceful version of you every single day. Because once you see this truth and peace within, you're going to begin to see that you cannot shrink back into your old shell, my friends. That's why people are getting tripped up right now, because they're trying to go back. Oh my God, it's not working. Wait, what? This is not good. But wait, I know. Wait, it's very confusing, and you're realizing you don't fit in that space anymore. That armor that you used to show up with, the illusion of who you used to show up as, no longer fits, and you no longer fight pressure to see what was always in your power to expand and shine your inner peace. Every choice is a peaceful deserving, and every experience is now simply synchronicity to your inner truth or pressure to elevate a choice to match it. Because when you know you, I'm preparing all of you, you're starting to wake up, you're looking at your charts, you're looking at the basics of your lighthouse, and you're starting to say, wait a minute, that is not who I am anymore. I know what I'm doing, I know how I'm showing up, but that's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. You don't fit in that armor anymore, that shell, that illusion. You are no longer willing to be a spoon anymore because you're bending that reality in that category of your life. That's why it's uncomfortable, because you haven't acknowledged and woken up and said, oh, I've been trying to fit in there and I don't even want to anymore. That's what's happening. And it's amazing, incredible, beautiful, because you're seeing you, you're choosing you, and you're finding the peace within you. Okay? So the planetary update is kind of kicking this in. So that's why I had these themes tonight of what's happening. The illusion is up for you to decide you don't want to live in that illusion anymore, and you're bending the reality to what you want to be and who you want to be. Okay. So in 1 week, next Monday, and I didn't want to wait till Monday because you're feeling it. So there is a Aries super full moon on October 6th next week. Okay. On Monday. So in 7 days. You will begin to feel it now or in the next several days appearing. That's why I'm bringing it up. Okay. This Aries super full moon is like a floodlight turning on inside your lighthouse. So instead of you being the lighthouse being everybody else's floodlight, it's like there's a floodlight inside your lighthouse revealing the rooms where you've been fighting battles that aren't even yours. Aries energy asks, where have I been holding out of fear instead of choosing my own light? This super moon is going to magnify the endings and breakthroughs so you can release the chains of an old identity and reclaim your fire. Aries is a fire sign. It's fiery and it's driven and it's intense. It's a cosmic closure moment, my friends. Full moons or closure. Okay? It's an invitation to move up your spiral staircase, lighter, braver, more aligned with your soul's authentic blueprint. Okay. If you don't acknowledge some of these things, they're going to come up anyway, and you're going to have a low vibe pull. Aries fire can flare up as like impulsive reactions or an inner battle with yourself. I know, but if I don't do this, that'll happen. If I don't do this, they won't like me. If I don't do this, they're going to judge me. If I don't do that, they're going to react to me. It's this inner battle that's going to come up. It's like running up and down the lighthouse stairs without ever opening the right door. Just acting like you're doing, I'm looking, but you're going so fast you're not even opening the door that needs your attention. Okay. Or it's going to bring up suppressed fears or unspoken truths that may erupt in relationships, because those are the ones that trigger us, right? Or self-judgment, showing you exactly which rooms still hold clutter that you're avoiding clearing. That's what's kicking in. Now, the lightness closure opportunity of this full moon. I love full moons because they're such a like that breath of release. Okay. The closure opportunity is this moon is inviting you to close the door to old battles. You don't need to battle anymore, my friends, because you're just being you, releasing patterns, beliefs, bonds that no longer honor your frequency. It's a cosmic permission slip from the universe, basically, to stand in your courage, to reclaim your worth, to raise yourself to the next level of your lighthouse with lighter energy, greater authenticity, and tap into that unworthiness, tap into that scarcity, tap into those insecurities and go, oh, well, if I just picked me and I picked what I wanted, I'd be peaceful and I really wouldn't be afraid of those things. There's no fear. That's what's surfacing, my friends. That's what's appearing. Okay. So everybody right here, repeat after me. Tap into the thymus, your nervous system, your immunity center. Repeat after me. I am courage. I am love. I am truth. Tap into the thoughts. I know courage. I know love. I know truth. All right, my friends. I'm going to open up to Q&A. Okay. I want to ask who can share where you're starting to have life break apart only for you now to start seeing that it no longer is what you want anyway. So you're finding that a new viewpoint without judging it. Can you see it? Can you go, yeah, that kind of broke open. Yeah, there was a conflict. Yeah, there was some judgment. Or yeah, internally I've been fighting with this. Yes, I've been resisting even looking at that because it's my stuff, not their stuff. They're just showing me I gotta look. Why? Because patterns are reappearing, patterns are showing up, patterns of, and they're small things, right? My husband will tell you I really have struggled most like whatever you want, whatever you want. And I'm really being good at saying, this is what I want right now. And it doesn't make sense and you may not like it, but I want it anyway. And he's like, and this is the funny part. My husband's like, okay. He's always been that person, but I'm the one who was struggling with that to not have to accommodate and choose me instead, right? Someone says, why is it so hard to be awake? It feels more painful than peaceful. Okay, it is only if you are still tr living and trying to fit into your old armor and old shell, right? Think of it this way, it's because it doesn't fit anymore. It's kind of like an old pair of pants, right? You liked how they used to look on you on the old you, but it doesn't look good on you anymore, right? And that's kind of all basic it is. Peace Peace is more when you can choose each moment as water and flow with it and around it without attaching to it. Okay? Like if that's what the experience is, you're kind of like, well, if that's what the experience is, okay, I'm choosing peace. No words or explanation are necessary. Okay, if that's what you want, and you know it's not okay with you, you don't need to explain they're not okay. You just know you need to make a different choice. You don't need to explain yourself, you don't need to change, and you don't need judgment. So, yes, it does feel uncomfortable because you're used to wearing old pants and you're trying to put them back on and they're tight or they're too loose and they don't fit and they don't look as good because the new you's brighter. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Someone else says, when you refer to quitting, do you mean quitting participating in things that don't fit? And you need to know why they just don't bring you joy. Oh, yes. And you don't need to know why they don't bring you peace or joy. Right. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. So they're trying to say is what you're referring to, what you mean is when you quit participating and things don't fit, you don't need to know why they don't fit. You don't need to know why they don't bring you peace or joy anymore. You don't even know why those pants, those people, those experiences don't fit you very well anymore. It's exactly what I mean. And when you're awake, you're very aware of what doesn't serve your peaceful flow anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. Awake doesn't mean you're better. It just means you're aware and awake of what doesn't fit you anymore. And it doesn't matter what other people's interpretation is. All right. Someone said, I have extended family issues. Yeah, I'm trying to still be seen by them. Very good observation. When they're mired in their own experiences, none of us need to explain ourselves. We each have challenges and we need to let each other be. Well, so well said. Exactly it. I'm trying to be seen by them and I realize we all have our own experiences and we don't need to we just need to let everybody have their own experience. Well said. Someone said, I had an awakening over the weekend. I don't need to be the new me in my old self. There's her old pants, right? Very well said. I get to choose to just be me as I am today. And the new me is brighter. And when something doesn't bring me peace, I'm out. I want peace in my second house of money and self-worth. Virgo is in my second house. How does that affect my peace? So the fact that you're saying you want peace means you don't have it, and I'm going to ask you to just determine what would it look like? What would it feel like to have peace in your money house? So instead of saying what you don't have and resisting the money, could you just let the money go and start being what Virgo is? Being Virgo energy, which is analyzing your money, analyzing what you're valuable, what you're worth, analyzing what your details, your finances, and how you're paying yourself first. I would always ask people in the second house of money. It's always more so about your value and worth than it is about the income. The income matches what you decide your value and worth is. So if you're overanalyzing if you're enough, that's what will come in, the value of what you think you're enough. So it's very, very vital now that you're looking at a specific aspect of your chart to say, all right, how can I raise my frequency of Virgo? And Virgo is all about sales and selling and communication and speaking. So analyze or go in and lay out a spreadsheet of how you can pay yourself first and then do the rest. And the money will come because you've just analyzed where you could push away some money, slot aside some money. The money will come when you're not resisting the money you don't have because you're making money and your value and raising your money like a spoon, like Neo. You're trying to say that there's money, and I'm going to ask you to go one level higher, Emily, since you've been doing this for a while and you understand where I'm coming from. I want you to ask yourself if you can acknowledge that there is no money, that there is no money, there is no path to money. There is only you deciding what you're worth. And when you can analyze how to pay yourself first, even if it's $20 a month, and then you raise it to 30, and then you raise it to 100, and then you're pushing that money into a savings, you're already analyzing, I can still do this and pay me first and do everything else. Start with you. Does that make sense? You guys are really doing well at this and starting to see this. Okay, someone says, there's no money. There's no money. Thank you. She mastered it already tonight. Everybody, she just mastered money tonight. There is no money. So just go be you and do your best, beautiful, most amazing self of value. I lost everything last year, this person says. The last 15 months has been about creating peace from within without anything. And the transformation of my life has been incredible. I'm living a full life that I love every day. And these are the explosions. This is a person that's explaining about money and things and people. She lost everything. And when you lose everything, you know what happens? You start to realize you have less nothing because you still have the power that created it in the first place. There was nothing because you are the only thing that matters. And now she's created it even bigger. She's more in love with herself. She's more in tune with who she is. So what she built is just going to attract to her 10 times greater. Does that make sense, my friends? So when you start to understand that there is no spoon, there is no money, there is no house, there is no car, there is no microphone, there is no you right now. I'm just sharing with all of you how you can open up and start tapping into going, well, if that's the case, I'm going to go look at my blueprint and see how do I be the highest frequency of me and just be and not worry about everybody else because that's just an illusion. I'll bend it to my reality. Changes my perspective. My world is bigger and more solid. These are really beautiful. Thank you guys for sharing because this is the shift. Okay. This is what's happening to all of you. You're all waking up and realizing you don't need to prove your money, value, and worth. You only have to own it. You don't need to prove that you need things to be bigger and better than you were before. You just need to own it and be it. You don't need to explain to anybody. I quit explaining to people what I do, how I do it, when I do it. I'm just trying to remind all of you how freaking beautiful you are and you're worth everything that you want because you deserve it, not because you have to prove it to anybody. And when you start seeing yourself, you're not having to put on armor anymore. You don't have to create an illusion anymore. You don't have to tell anybody, do you know what I make? Do you know what I do? Labels go away. Your titles go away. People want to keep pinpointing and asking, and my branding and my marketing people, what do you do, Don? I don't know. I just show up and I raise people mindsets to see their own value and worth so that they can stand in peace. They can be at peace within every choice they make in every category of their life. Now, thank you, because Emily was trying to share with us, you can look at your chart and look at how you show up in each of the categories. And if you're showing up in your money and value and worth house in Virgo, you're probably criticizing yourself about what you have instead of laying out the high version of Virgo, which is, oh, I know how to analyze and lay a spreadsheet out and start paying me first and raise my value and still pay my bills and go out there and do, oh, check. No money, no value, no worry. I'm showing up as me. We have the ability to start seeing every category of our life and living in that Christos light consciousness, the divine God consciousness within. And when you start shining there, nobody matters because it's all an illusion. It's only you being attracting aligning and having synchronicities to things that just show up magically. It is off the charts amazing. Again, the person who asked the question earlier, I want to reiterate what they had said. Why is it so hard to be awake? Because it feels more painful than peaceful. I want you all know everything that you're all addressing. This is what she's trying to say is when I look at it, I don't like it. It's because you're trying to make it a thing instead of saying, oh, I just have to address how I want, what would bring me peace in this category. I'm going to do that. Seems weird to pay myself first, then everybody else, but I'm going to do it anyway. Seems weird to speak this truth about myself of where I want to go, what I want to do, or how I want to live my life, because they're going to judge me, but I'm going to do it anyway. Seems weird that security for me would be traveling all, it's not for me, but someone would say if they had Sagittarius, I want to travel all over the world. I love, that's what security is, not being locked in my house. Well, to other people, it wouldn't make sense. Okay, so when we choose one thing in each category, just one thing in that category, and she was picking her finance, her value and worth house. Peace is soft and warm from my heart. What can I do instead of over analyzing my money? How can I analyze how I can pay myself first? How can I analyze how to raise my value first? It's that easy, and everything changes because you're now focused on here instead of out there. And so it does feel painful until we're like, oh, I don't have to do out there. I can pick this version of me, right? When it comes to my money house is ruled by Cancer. So nurturing all of you, teaching my clients how to trust what they feel, their value and their worth inside of them. Cancer rules security and homes and real estate and value. So dirt and bringing up the value of all you having security in your value, that's what brings me money. That's what I teach. That's what I do, whether it's corporate coaching down to personal coaching, down to myself. That's how I'm being. Someone says, mine is how I always feel obligated to be there for everyone. Wow, that is a huge awakening. This past week or so, I keep choosing me first. I don't answer every call. That's a perfect example of a small choice, but it's going to get big because she's making it. I or do what others need on their timeline. I am finally doing it on mine. These are examples, my friends, and I am going to give you all, everybody who is commenting or listening, put your hand right here. You did a great job. Pat yourself on the back. These are amazing awakenings. This is awakening. This is what it looks like to see everything that is not you and start choosing everything that is you and realizing what is you is what attracts, aligns, and magnifies your life to the life you deserve. Period. It's that simple. I know it seems weird to choose us for a change, but we're doing it. Okay, so does that make sense to all of you? Does it feel more peaceful to understand that if you can just make that one word addressed in all areas of your life, you're going to start seeing where you're avoiding it and coming back in? And it doesn't matter the topic or the title of the experience. Okay, we're all stepping out of the illusion of fear. And that illusion of fear, you start realizing, oh, I don't have to fear anything because I know who I am and I'm not afraid of me. That's okay. I can make choices from there. Okay? I love it. Thank you guys for sharing. This was amazing, amazing comments, and I appreciate this. So, remember, let's close up here a little bit. Remember to like, share, and invite a friend to future Truth Tribes, or the replays will be up within an hour or two, always. They just don't have access to the comments. If you need a copy of your birth chart to go see where your planets are, go to my website. I Deserve It Now. There's a free Astro tab for you to at least grab a version of it. If you really want to understand how to go all in on your self-awareness and start seeing, as Emily was sharing, her one house and how she can raise her peace in that area, go get the VIP I Deserve It membership so you can get access to everything and start slow dripping and learning one step at a time to get to know you. Okay, head over to ideserveitnow.com or even idinow.com. They all work. DonThompson.com. They all go there. We all go to the same place. Also, my friends, remember if you're listening to this after the live session on YouTube or Spotify, all those links will be in the notes below. As always, my friends, find me if you have questions anywhere in any of my DMs, any of my social medias. I'm very easy to find. Please remember, I'm always reminding you, do not need to do this journey alone. I love you all. Thank you for joining me tonight. Brightest blessings. I will see you next week. You guys take care.